that the fans, if you will, turned their backs on him because he was in prison. I mean, does he forget Remix did a fundraising show for him? He had a brain tumor, Joe, not that long ago as well. I mean, been through a lot. And to feel that the fans turn their backs on him, I think couldn't be the farthest thing from the truth.
Yeah, I think he looks at Vance, Desmond, and Aaron Draven as two men who, they used to have a mutual respect for one another, all three of these men. But I think Takado feels like they weren't there for him in his time of need. And we talked about the fact these men have met before in a three-way dance, once at the NWA 57th anniversary event over a decade ago. I know Zach was a teenager. These other two may have been as well, if not teenagers, very close to it. They met at the Remix Pro Presents, the Tri-State Reunion, NWA Tri-State Reunion. Oh no, Takado slammed on the floor.
Hard slam from Violent Vance.
And Vance trained Takado Moon. He's been with him since day one. A hard clothesline, discus style. I'll finish my point in a moment as Vance gets the cover for two. Both those prior three-way matches were won by the man then known as Zach Vincent, so Takado Moon with an advantage, at least psychologically, headed into this contest.
Draven now takes Desmond down, and Draven, you mentioned a cruiserweight, but don't let the size fool you. He's a cruiserweight, but he's got the strength of a heavyweight.
Oh, without question. He has deceptively strong quad muscles, thigh muscles. We've seen him elevate men much larger than him overhead.
Got muscle on top of muscle, and now takes Desmond down again.
And Desmond's guy probably has about, say, 15, 20 pounds on Aaron Draven. But certainly, Draven is wrestling to his strengths. He's grounding Desmond and really taking out that size equation.
The three of these men with the history, as we've mentioned, really wanting to come out. I mean, they all came up together, as you mentioned, 11 years ago, wrestling on the anniversary show. Then the Tri-State Reunion, of course. These men want to distance themselves from their class peers, if you will, tonight.
Oh no, oh God! Oh, wow! You can feel the reverberations of the floor at our feet, Mike.
And Takado back into the ring, catches Vance from behind.
And all three of these individuals as well, really originals, really stalwarts here in Remix Pro. They've been part of this organization since pretty much day one. Desmond feeling good about himself. Cover two.
Desmond not happy that Takado has won the previous two three-way battles between these three competitors of the same class. Trying to take it to him, but now Takado on the offense.
I believe Takado calls that the dream catcher, that modified backbreaker into the lateral press, 2 and no.
He almost did it a third time. Is it going to be the charm for him tonight? Wait and see.
Was talking to Vance earlier today, who told me that at one point he wrestled Takado Moon 5 times in 3 states over 4 days. That's how well these guys know each other.
Draven now back into the ring, but still out of it.
Barely. Takado Moon, a lot more aggressive side, more animalistic side than we've seen in the past. Guy's got a vendetta. And I get that his life hasn't gone the way he's wanted it to the past couple of years. Hey, my heart goes out to the guy. But man, he's just blaming everybody but himself for his own mistakes, in my opinion.
I mean, I agree with you, Joe. I think, like I said, the farthest thing from the truth. The fans here of Remix have not turned their back on Zach Vincent. But now with this reincarnation is Takado Moon.
Look at Draven, oh my God! Ah!
Uses Takado as a springboard to take...
Are you kidding me?
To take Violent Vance down. The crowd firmly behind Draven on that one.
Vance flew to the canvas, landed hard. I don't think Dakota's sure what happened. He was a makeshift springboard. Oh, check out that bridge. Takado has great flexibility. Again, one of those athletes that moves like no other. Crucifix bomb, Draven hits the back of his head.
Draven was just 10 feet in the air and did a belly flop right in the center of the ring as Takado able to get out of the way. And
oh, near fall. Takado looking to go 3-0 in this decade-long series between these athletes.
I wonder what would that do to the psyche of a guy like Vance Desmond, who's been up and down the circuit, of a guy like Aaron Draven. If they, I mean, Takoda's could go undefeated. 3-0, 1-0, 2-0, but 3-0, that's...
Well, I'll tell you what, like all three of these men have had a sniff at the Remix Pro Championship. They've had opportunities, they've been in the mix, and They all want to get back there. Make no mistake about that. That's the top prize. If you're in Remix Pro Wrestling and you don't want to hold a championship, you shouldn't be here. And I think that hunger and drive is what's propelling these men forward. And I tell you what, to whoever ends up losing this matchup, there'll be two that don't win. There may be some serious soul searching between them.
Yes, indeed. All three of these men with their eyes on Ron Mathis, the Remix champion.
Takado Moon, very superficial. Spent many hours on that hair, many hours on his looks.
Still has the boots.
Still has the boots, but everything else, oh, doesn't have a spine anymore, though. Buckle bomb.
Draven out of the way. Now Draven going to the top now.
Show that agility. Roadblock, Hurricane Rana, no.
Violent Vance just simply powers him into Takado on the opposite corner.
Vance learned from earlier. Buckle bomb, oh no, Draven
again
into Takado Moon.
He's going for a third.
Nothing Draven could do to counter, nothing Takado can do to protect himself.
Takado simply unable to get out of the way, taking the brunt of those three in a row. Here he goes again.
Oh! And Vance Desmond tried for potentially a kill shot there. Draven and Takado are waiting.
And neither one of these competitors, if you will, Takado nor Draven, set that up. That's simply in-ring chemistry of them knowing each other almost like the back of their hands, if you will.
That's instinct.
Caught Violent Vance right to the jaw with a double kick.
Draven a victory over Laredo Kid in our last throwdown. Vance and Takado, part of a hellacious 8-man tag, Anti-Heroes versus Headless Horseman. Draven with more experience one-on-one, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything because these men have been up and down the roads as we've talked about. It's Draven for a moment with the advantage.
Here's Draven from the top.
Missile drop kick, 1 foot for each athlete. Can Draven follow through?
Violent Vance told me before this match tonight, he was putting on the match of his life, and so far, I mean, it's well on the way. Great performance from all three of these guys here thus far.
Takado out on his feet, Draven through the ropes! And colliding with Desmond. I'm not sure if Takado did that on purpose or he was just looking to duck out of the way. Either way, damage done. Modified Draven, death ride, hook in the leg, no.
What a move from Draven. I thought it was over.
We've seen Draven use that maneuver off the top rope. It's gotten him numerous victories over the years. Tried to snap it off rapid fire there, but Takado Moon lives to fight onward in this matchup. Flexibility, Takado caught Draven with the high kick a second time now. Oh.
And normally when we see the Headless Horsemen, they don't ride alone, if you will.
Done, no near fall.
But we've got Takado Moon out here. Great match, no outside interference, great performance thus far.
Draven got hit right on the side of the jaw a moment ago. And he has not moved very much since. Takado Moon maybe going to finish this thing, but Desmond is there to meet him.
What's Violent Vance up to here? Dangerous maneuver.
But for whom is the question? Oh my God. Reverse Hurricane Rana.
Whips him right across Draven, still in the center of the ring.
Yeah, and a pile of bodies center of the ring. Takado gets a near fall.
I thought he had his third in a row. Now he's going to try to pin Vance.
Smart maneuvers, try to pin Vance, but Vance in the ropes.
Vance out of it, able to just get that arm up and tug at the bottom rope.
Takado objecting, complaining, but legal counts there. And again, there's this frustration over Takado Moon that has caused a complete change in his disposition.
Well, and now Takado taking the turn to be on the offensive, going to the top. Very proficient from high flyer altitude.
Oh, look at this, Takado going
Can't do it.
Oh no, look out, oh! Takado hit hard, his face smacked off the edge of this ring frame.
Like a sack of potatoes.
That's where metal meets wood. There's no give in that part of the ring. As Desmond and Draven now beat the hell out of each other in the ring.
Hard whip followed by a hard elbow.
And Draven responds on the opposite side.
I don't think Violent Vance was expecting that. A little bit of showboating. That extra second that he gave Draven allowed Draven to
and look, looked like Draven was ready to measure Takado Moon, but Desmond, not a soft. Oh no, God! Kick through the legs, right to the face. Draven, his face was sandwiched between the foot of Desmond and that top turnbuckle.
Well, evidently, the referee saw a kick to the midsection there as View.
Oh God!
View partially obstructed, but
that's the Desmond Destroyer, and it may have lived up to its namesake.
He might have had him had it not been for Takado Moon yanking him out of the ring immediately after
God.
he hit. Curb stomp.
And there's no protection there. Takado Moon hit face first, and Draven got spiked as well. Good grief, good night. That was vile.
Here is your winner, Vance Desmond.
Both of these guys are going home with headaches tonight, I'll tell you that.
Violent Vance Desmond is going home with a victory, and maybe a bit of reciprocity 11 years in the making. Takado Moon was 2-0 on both these men in three-way dances, but Violent Vance Desmond, man, back with a vengeance. A couple of years ago, we thought he was done, but Takado Moon
We've got medical attention now attending to Takado Moon.
He got spiked face and head first on this. It's a gymnasium style form. There's